aware that sport is very important. Sport can help us to enhance our experiences and a sense of life and balance. It is very important to have life balance. When we are studying, we are exercising our brain and improve our knowledge. And when we are doing sport, we are exercising our body and physically at the same time. So it is very important to have balance in life. So the balance in life will help us to think and to believe about the power of sport. Today, it is our great honor to have a chance to sit down to conduct one-to-one interview with Mr. Peter Philip. Mr. Philip is an ISPS Honda Honorary Ambassador and a member of the royal family. So, Mr. Philip, I would like to take a great opportunity to introduce about him related to the royal family. He is a son of Her Royal Highness Princess Royal and Mr. Mark Philip, and the eldest grandchild of the late Queen Elizabeth II. Mr. Philip also followed the family tradition and went to school at the Gordonton in Scotland before completing his degree at the Exeter University. So to get started, I would like to give a question to Mr. Philip directly, because I'm sure the audience would like to know more about you, to learn more about you in terms of career and sport, and especially the power of sport. So Mr. Philip, how are you this morning?
Very good, thank you. Very pleased to be in Cambodia and very much enjoying my first visit here.
Thank you very much. And I'm so excited to have you here and to have a chance to conduct one-to-one interview. So could you please introduce yourself to our audience so we can learn more about you?
So my name is Peter Phillips. I am ISBS and Handa Honorary Ambassador. I have worked with Dr. Handa for nearly 10 years now, and primarily working alongside him to help promote the power of sport and the power and the ability of sport to change lives. And this is primarily through inclusion, primarily focused on the sport of golf, but not exclusively, and being able to open up golf to all abilities and disabilities, and being able to ensure that all ability golf is on the same platform as professional golf. And this is all about inspiring people to get involved in sport. This is about inspiring people. It's about breaking down the perceived boundaries and entries into sport. And now, after many years of hard work from Dr. Handa and his team, we now see that on professional tournaments we have disabilities golf being played at the same time on the same course as the professional game, which 10 years ago would never have been thought as possible. But now we're through Dr. Handa's passion about the inclusivity and the power of sports, we are now seeing opportunities for all, and really breaking down barriers to entry into sport, but not just golf, but all sports.
Thank you very much. Very, very inspiring. And from what you have said, I can see you have devoted yourself for sport for years. And it is very important to understand the power of sport and the inspiration of Dr. Handa. So just come back to the second question. Do you have any program which is being promoted now that you would like to tell people of Cambodian? Because I understand this is your first time to Cambodia, and I'm sure you have your own personal agenda. So would you mind telling us?
Well, my personal agenda is actually completely aligned with Dr. Handa's agenda. Whether it be through ISBS Handa and the Power of Sport initiatives, or even supporting the Handa Foundation and being able to support his work in education and health throughout Cambodia. Recently there's been through the Handa Foundation there's medical facilities and infrastructure has been shipped up from Australia to be able to support some of the medical facilities here in Cambodia. So really my goal here is to support Dr. Handa in all the good work that he's doing across not just not just the University of Cambodia, but also the Chinook Hospital and the Handa Medical Centre and Trauma Centre. So there are lots of initiatives that he has been involved with for many, many years. And as I say, Dr. Handa is a great inspiration to me. A lot of our values are the same, our passion is the same, our beliefs are the same. So it's only logical that I can try and help and support him as much as possible.
Thank you very much for your very good heart to have not just only devote yourself for health, for sport, but also for charity activity. This is very good humankind, and I highly appreciate for all your activity and a lot of things that I would like to learn from you personally. So after you have said in terms of charity, when I can see you are involved with all activity, like I said, in terms of charity, in terms of humankind, in terms of sport, and tremendous activity that you have done so far. So could you please emphasize a little bit more in terms of any specific area or any specific agenda for you to come to Cambodia, like with some province or some organization or other institution? Would you mind?
Well, no, absolutely. I mean, I'm apart from anything else, I'm very excited to be here. It's been Cambodia has been a country on my list of to visits for many years. So I'm thoroughly looking forward to getting the opportunity to explore the country a bit more. I'm going to Angkor Wat in a couple of days to finish off the tour. But as well as visiting the University of Cambodia, we're also going to see the Chinook Hospital, and also we're going to see the Handa Medical and Trauma Centre. So we are very much, it's very much focused, this trip, on supporting Dr. Handa's activities here in Cambodia. But for me personally, it's also about trying to see a bit of the country, learn a lot. I love coming to different countries and learning about learning more about the history. And I always think that it's one thing reading about these things, but actually coming to countries and experiencing firsthand people's the history, then it's much more deep and meaningful.
Thank you very much. Very, very interesting trip. So as you have seen, you visit Cambodia for the first time, and you have your own activity planning to be visited and to be implemented. So would you mind telling us, since your first arrival to Cambodia, your first trip, what is your impression for our kingdom so far?
Well, it's a very good impression. It's a short answer to that. And I think there are a lot of similarities between the United Kingdom and certainly my family and the royal family here in Cambodia. There seems to be a very similar ethos in terms of being able to look to support and actually having the thought process of supporting activities which enrich the people's lives and try and support people as much as possible through difficult times, and really supporting initiatives that are genuinely doing good on the ground. So there are a lot of similarities between my family and the Cambodian royal family, and I think that is there's always going to be that common thread if you have the same approach to being able to support your citizens.
In terms of the monarchy system, yes. Thank you very much. Very interesting. I'm sure people are so excited to hear about that and to see the similarity that our two countries have the same common ground. So as far as I know, just now, a moment ago, actually, we just finished the public lecture at the University of Cambodia, and on behalf of Cambodian student, particularly for students at the University of Cambodia. You have shared with our experiences in terms of sport, the power of sport, the motivation and activity planning, and other inspiration messages that you could share. So, as we all know that there are many experiences in terms of sport you have raised during the public lecture. So, and you have just given us a very empower message to our students. Could you please share with us on your message to the student once again, and also to the youth of Cambodia around and also around the world about the importance of the value of sport and especially the power of sport, so our audience who follow on our live stream can also have a chance to listen to you.
Yeah, I like Dr. Handa, I have a fundamental belief that in the power of sport to change lives, and that comes through a number of different mediums. Ideally, it comes through the physical medium, to actual participation and involvement, or it can become through the organisational side of it. I was explaining to a lot of the students that my involvement in sport through my entire career has been on the organisational and the commercial side of sport, whereas some of the other members of my family have all been participating in it and won various gold medals. But for me, my sporting career was struck short by a knee injury, but that didn't mean that I had to stop being involved in sport. And there are many other ways to get involved and to continue to be involved in sport. And it's the opportunities that sport provides you. It's the experiences, it's the people you meet, it's the travel that is possible, and it's one of those. It's a fantastic medium to be able to grow yourself, not just physically but mentally, and be able to learn. I learned a huge amount from working in Formula One for 11 years. I met some incredible people, but ultimately it provided me with the basis and the knowledge of the career that I've built for myself. But it all comes back to what sport can do and how sport can influence and change people's lives. And being able to have that, being able to provide the opportunity for people to be involved in sport, breaking down those barriers of that potential fear and obstacle to get involved and to do sports. And obviously culturally sometimes getting involved in sport and physical activity can be awkward, but what Dr. Handa and ISBS Handa and I believe is that we've got to demystify those barriers, and we've got to break those barriers down and make it easier for people of all cultures to ensure that access to sport is not there are no barriers put up by any form of cultural or social perceived blocks that potentially don't allow people, or is seen as bad for people to be involved in. It's just there are many ways of being involved in sport, and those cultural and social barriers do not need to be there.
Thank you very much. So to me, sport is very important. Sport can play an important role as the medium to break the cultural norm, and can build the social interaction, and also very important to maintain our health, not just only physically but mentally as well. And I have heard you mention a lot about the sport activity. So as far as I know, you like doing sport. You mentioned earlier in terms of golfing, football, and racing, especially the Formula One. So could you please tell us about your work at ISPS and its powers, or the power of sport?
Yeah, well, this has been my entire career has been sport related, and through a number of programs that I've been involved with, community engagement programs I've been involved with, whether it be rugby, Formula One, cricket, golf. You always see the power of sport and the influence it has on all of the people and all of the communities that these various programs are rolled out for. So to be involved with Dr. Handa and his complete passionate belief that in this power of sport to change lives, it's completely aligned with everything that I believe in and everything that I've seen as well. And it doesn't matter what level of sport you're involved with. You know, sport is inspirational. Top level sport is inspirational. It generates a passion. It creates an emotion with people. Whether it's an excitement, an emotion, or it's something deeper, it doesn't matter. And top level sport has a responsibility to be able to enhance that passion and be able to inspire people and show people how it can change, how people can change their lives, and that's something that's through ISBS Handa, and especially the work that they've done with in All Abilities Golf, and trying to be able to ensure that All Abilities Golf has the same platform as professional golf, and on the women and in the women's game, and the promotion of the women's game into again on the same platform as the men's. It's truly inspirational that, you know, again 10 years ago that none of this would have been thought possible, but through ISBS Handa and Dr. Handa's passion, what we've seen you know, All Abilities Golf played at the same course as the Australian Open in Sydney. We've seen men and women playing at the same tournament. We've seen it in the Asian Tour, we've seen it in the European Tour. There are countless examples of how Dr. Handa and ISBS Handa's passion for this over the course of the last 10 or so years is now starting to bear fruit, and it's now and I've been to golf tournaments where I've watched the All Abilities guys on the driving range with the professionals, and all the professionals are crowded around these guys, all the All Ability golfers, disabled golfers, and they're fascinated. They're fascinated about, the professionals are fascinated about how these guys can hit the ball so straight all the time and how they can do it. And it's that level of engagement and that level of respect that these guys would never have had if they weren't given that platform to compete on the same level. And you know, we've seen it at golf tournaments. You see more people following the All Abilities golfers around the golf course than the professionals, because people are fascinated and inspired by what these guys have had to go through, but are ultimately able to do in a sport which has always been massively dominated by fit, healthy men. And so those barriers have all been broken down, and now, you know, hopefully we can keep that momentum going to be able to you know, to broaden the program out much more. But again, the golf is just one example of how sport can inspire people to change their lives.
Thank you very much. It's very exciting to hear about what kind of sport. It doesn't matter, but sport bring motivation, inspiration, can help us to break the barrier, can help us to gain self-confidence, and it can say that we cannot live without sport. I myself personally, I really wanted to do one day, devote myself to sport, but you know, for some reason we still have to pursue another opportunity. But still, I never forget about sport, and I'm sure our audience also very interested to listen from your inspirational message. Now, since you know already you were mentioning about ISB Handa Foundation, so come back to your relationship with Dr. Haruhisa Honda. Please share with us on how and Dr. Honda get to know each other. And I truly know that he is an amazing person. He is a person who has a magnanimous heart and who cares so much about the humanity. He is very much a selfless and altruistic person. Dr. Honda, for us, he is our great chancellor, and he is a great person for the University of Cambodia. So can you have share with us about Dr. Honda and you personal relationship over the year, or so far you have known him?
So I'm very fortunate that I have a very, very good relationship with Dr. Honda. I think our relationship is because we have so many common shared interests across many different areas, not just sport. We tend to laugh a lot together, which is always always the spice of life to be able to enjoy each other's company. And he's not only a great inspiration, but he's great fun to be around, and always creates a very enjoyable environment to be around. But I think he is, you're right, he is a hugely inspirational man, and along with his Excellency Dr. Joachim Horn, Asian Secretary General, obviously co-founder of the University of Cambodia here. They're extraordinary men to be able to share a value together, to be able to have the vision of creating not only the University of Cambodia but also other projects that they've worked on together here. And it's a great privilege for me to be exposed to what they have achieved together, and I thoroughly look forward to seeing more of what their work together has achieved.
Thank you very much for your great sharing. We have touched upon sport, about your career, and a public lecture you were mentioning about the power of sport. So let's come back a little bit to your personal point of view. What has Cambodia mean to the British royal family over the years?
I think I touched on it a bit previously. I think it's the shared values and understanding of being able to provide a platform to support citizens in both countries, to be able to improve lives of the citizens. My family have been very passionate about it and support many organisations in the United Kingdom to do exactly that. And the royal family in Cambodia, similarly, they support these organisations, and it's about the development of youth. It's about providing opportunities. It's about providing support, providing the skill set to be able to improve the lives of citizens in both countries.
Thank you very much. So, as you may have known that Cambodia will host the 32nd SEA Games or Southeast Asia Game and the 12th ASEAN Para Game for the very first time. What is your perspective on those events, and how do you think those games will help raise the power of sport on one hand? On the other hand, it will help raise the profile of Cambodia to the world.
Well, sport is a fantastic medium for communication. So these games will allow Cambodia to show its face to the rest of the world, to the region, and I think from that perspective, it will give a platform for millions of people who would not have necessarily seen what Cambodia has to offer. It will provide that platform for millions of people to be able to see that and understand more and learn more about Cambodia. So from a platform perspective, an outward-looking perspective, any major games like that is a fantastic. It provides a fantastic ability and platform for countries to project their message to a much wider audience. I think in terms of what it does, what the games will do for Cambodia in particular, this is a huge opportunity for organisations throughout Cambodia to be able to promote sport and promote the benefits of sport to the nation, and hopefully through the games they will provide inspiring moments which will be able to trickle down to people to actually, I want to give that a go, I can do that, I can do this, and it's then about how the games inspire and break down barriers to entry, so how people can get involved. And I think if one of the messages is very clear from these games, it has to be providing clear communication about how people can get involved in these activities and these sports moving forward. And if they can do that, then the legacy of these games, which is where everybody is talking about these days, these major events, these major sporting events, what legacy are they leaving behind? Legacy has to be increased participation, but prolonged increased participation. And I think it's very much that then falls on Cambodian sports organisations and federations to be able to make sure that they fully have a participation plan or grassroots plan in place to get more people into these sports, but then at the same time keep people in these sports.
Thank you very much. So sport not for the event is not just only about the event per se, but it provides a long-term view and a legacy to people. And people keep talking not just for today's event, but in the future they will know the power of sport and also to bring people to get connected. And it's good for our country reputation to expose to the world that the special moment has just come and having conducted in our country. So thank you very much, Mr. Philip. It's a very great honor to have you here. But before we end our interview, I would like to have a final question. So can you share with us your inspirational message to the youth and people of Cambodia about sport and especially about your visit this time?
Well, I think ultimately I am. This has been coming to the University of Cambodia this morning. It's been a great privilege, a great honour, and a great inspiration to see so many people who are interested in listening to what sport has, how sport has affected my life, and hopefully, if through not only my visit here, but hopefully through other initiatives that ISBS Handa is supporting, the Handa Foundation is supporting, if there is if people take away the message that ultimately physical activity and sport not only just it can help physically, but also mentally it can help, and it creates communities and it creates opportunities. And I think hopefully through the Cambodia hosting the Asian Games, that will provide further opportunities for people to be able to get involved in sport and provide inspirational and aspirational moments for people to say, I want to be involved in that, I want to do that, I can do that, I want to be able to emulate the stars of today and hopefully be the stars of tomorrow.
Thank you very much. Very, very inspirational message. So now it comes to the end of our program. On behalf of Seatv, I would like to express my great sincere thanks to Mr. Philip for allowing us to conduct a one-to-one interview at this time. And I hope you enjoy your stay in Cambodia. So
thank you very much.
For audience, if you miss this interview, you can follow us on the live stream TV at Seatv. Thank you.